Chief Solar Rock and Cat Crash, aka Teresh. Mind elevation of the more, nothing less. He's something about me on Monday. After I rise and shine, I'm ready to shoot my shot like it was gunplay. You heard from the rest, now hear the words from the best. Who has the character and caliber of Teresh? He's something about me on Monday. And when we meet, your only homework from last week is to be elite and be discreet about the things we build upon when we speak. Dot your I's and cross your T's and be complete to reach a peak. There's something about me on Monday. And when I rise to flourish, my mind is nourished with words to help me find the courage to stay on my higher purpose even when I get nervous. This is sort of like church for us because it's about the service. There's something about me on Monday.
What up? What up? What up, world? Tap. I'm Compresh, and this is the Monday Jump Off, number 171. We in the building. Charity, what up? What's good, Queen? Glad you here. Remember, in my chat, you can ask me any question at any time. We just go enjoy the ride. So before I get to anything, please check in the description box. I got a lot of links in it, but I definitely want you to check out the Measure Raw Creation link and pick up your US cards if you haven't gotten them yet or placed your pre-order sale of them yet. Please go cop yours, and they'll be shipping shortly, right? So I'm really excited about that. So me and my crew will get this off the line, and then I'm working on something else for 2026. So one step at a time, but 2026, and just making it happen. My theme song is by the Big Chief Solar Raw. His link is in the description box at the bottom, and it's just gonna be a good time. What up, Charity? What's that? Got the smiley face. Yeah, I'm feeling really good tonight. Really, really good. My bad about last week, but my mom's was a little bit under the weather, and had to take care of my earth. So that was that. It wasn't like I was out here not doing what I was supposed to be doing. The fact of the matter is I was doing exactly what I was supposed to be doing, being a good son to a very honorable and authentic woman. So, that's why there was no Monday Jump Off last week. But it gave me time to really reflect on some things, because what is status without character? Charity, she's feeling a lot better, Queen. Thank you for asking. I actually had an opportunity to take her out to dinner, and we went to go see Planet of the Apes this weekend. So I circled back to make sure she was doing good. And we watched Planet of the Apes, which I think everybody should watch. It's a good movie, and definitely stay to the end. You're gonna really like the ending, and the next one is gonna really pick up for sure. Not to ruin the movie for you guys, but yeah. So once again, check the description box. A lot of good stuff. If you're ever in New York City and you want to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with me, dankoval.com. Go to our jiu-jitsu school.com and just come through. We right there on 36 and 9th Avenue. So right next to Penn Station, so we're easy to get to. This weekend was so incredible. It was Malcolm X's birthday, so happy solar return. Happy 99th solar return to the Honorable El-Haj Malik El-Shabazz, a.k.a. Malcolm X, who book changed my life at the age of 12. I read that at 12. I was 12 turning 13, and that book really changed the way I view the world. And then the movie, when I saw the movie too, added on to it, it was just he was just an incredible man with a great character, and his character and ability to change his thought and to advance his thought and to evolve, right, in live time under duress. I don't think I've ever seen a human being as greater in modern history, and maybe won't see that again. But I am definitely trying to be that way, constantly just trying to grow and definitely get better at what I'm doing myself, so that that flow of evolution, that flow of constant being in the know, that constant correction, and that constant development of who we are and what we are and what we say we are, and being exactly and authentic of who we saying we need to be. So I will always honor Malcolm X by going to his grave site every year. I've been doing that now for like I want to say 17, 18 years, maybe 20 years. So it's a tradition. I hope my daughter continues with it. I hope, and if I have another offspring down the line, I hope they continue it too, just to honor their father, because it's our black prince, the black Messiah. The Messiah can come in many forms, but he took 19 bullets for black people in live time. So always honor that. And his message was always clear. So tonight, before I get into everything else, I'm going to read one of my favorite quotes from Malcolm X. And then we'll jump into everything, because I know y'all want to hear my thoughts on Diddy. I already received text about that, and, my thoughts on a lot of different things. And it all coincides, me starting off with Malcolm X and then me going into the other stuff. What's status without character, right? Like, what is status without character? So remember, stumbling is not falling. There's no better than adversity. Every defeat, every heartbreak, every loss contains its own seed, own lesson on how to improve your performance the next time. That's a thinking man. And you got to think, Malcolm X died at 39. He was young man, very young man, but wise and dedicated to the people and to his cause. And just I just always want to salute Malcolm X on his birthday or the day after his birthday, and just reflect on what he really left the world, especially black people. It's just it's humbling, and we all should be grateful, no matter where you are in the diaspora, for Malcolm X. I'm 100% sure of that. And your kids should read his book, especially when they're at the age of understanding. So at least by the age of 12 or 13, you should be putting that book in their hand. And if you haven't read the autobiography of Malcolm X by Alex Haley, then you should too, especially if you follow my page. I don't care what ethnicity you represent or what demographic you represent. Everybody needs to read that. Period. Hands down. ... Across the board, because the character and the status matched. And that's something we're not seeing in modern time. People have status, but their character is really fucked. Not saying that we all don't have flaws, but it's one thing to have a flaw, it's another thing to be practicing fucktivity. And yeah, that's a word, right? Like, you are practicing the highest order of sinister, careless, folly, foolish, fuckery behavior that you can muster in yourself. You basically moving on, I guess, quote unquote, demon time. And that ain't gonna get you nowhere except embarrassment, jail, death, and just the scrutiny and the loss of power and energy. So I really got hit up about the Puff thing. I still call him Puff because that's just how I knew him, as Puff Daddy growing up. And I reflect on the time when he was looking for an assistant, and I tried to sneak into the building to get an interview. This is a wild story, but it's true. So I'm like, man, I tell my pops, yo, I'm gonna become his assistant so I can learn on the go. Like, I really thought you would be you can grow a lot faster if you work for somebody like a Diddy or Puff at the time, or Puff or a Dame Dash or what have you. If you can get underneath the wing to learn the business, it's a good way to grow, because we all need a form of mentorship with certain aspects of business, especially when you're young. So I tell my pops, yo, I'm gonna try to get in there. I know I don't have a college degree, but I know my music, and I'm dedicated and I'm consistent. I can learn anything. I tell my mom look at me, she say, son, that nigga's a sucker. Just like that. I don't like him. There's something skeevy about him. That's what my mom told me that day. I said, yo, you can't hate on Puff like that. You know what I mean? He's doing his thing. And he brought us some really great music that we're always gonna play. Like his production team really brought us things that will always be played and memorable, especially if you are an 80s kid, maybe even from like 75 to like 1995, But 100%, my mom said that. As soon as she said, when she heard my plan of what I was gonna go do, she was like, son, you don't need that dude. He a sucker. He looks like a snake and looks like a shiesty coward. That's what she said. My mother's from Canarsie, Brooklyn. Um, really ran the street, like really ran the street, like made the paper. I'm talking about, like, yeah, she was always hot. And so, at least in her day, right? She's different now, but back in her day, she wouldn't all the smoke and then the chimney, So she was like, ugh. She was like, son, you could be better. You can learn on your own, And she just never, ever, ever liked him, because she was just like, yo, don't be caught up in the flare. She said, like I teach you, you got 2 eyes and you got the eye that really see. That you got to see a person for who they are, not for the person they portraying. And that's all what she said. She said, but be safe, do what you do. If this is part of your learning journey, I trust you to always do the right thing and never dishonor yourself. So that was my mom's, words to me about that. So we just moving the story along. I try to sneak into the building. Crazy. And try to sneak in a bad boy, and the security guard catches me. And he's like, yo, where you going? I was like, that's that and the third. And the brother just looked at me. He's like, nah, you don't want to do that. You on a different path, straight like that. And he said, so I'm gonna need you to get the fuck up out of here. So he escorted me out the building. And that was all what he said. Like, I was just like, whoa. So I gotta be maybe 19 at the time. Maybe I'm like 19, 20 the latest or something like that. Yeah, probably 19, 20 at the time. So I was just like, this is wild. I was trying to, get better at my business. I had the street, I had the t-shirt line jumping off. We were doing shows, me, Rock, and Ace. Those are my partners, my brothers and sisters through the years. So that's over like, now we at like 24 years. No. I'm fronting. Be like 27 years, 28 years of friendship. And I always wish, shout out to Ace and Rock. Without y'all, man, we done been through it all thick and thin. I love y'all. And, we like this until this life and to the next and then to the next. And then we just gonna keep doing this fly brother sister shit for all eternity. And that's what I wish for us. So anyway, that's basically what security said. So I never got the opportunity to even, audition to be his assistant, but I wanted to. I did want to at that time. My mom was against it, and the security completely deaded that shit. Like, whatever he saw of me, he was just like, It made me feel like that time I was like, oh, I can really hustle out here. Somebody I knew that knew me was like, get the out of here. This ain't your life. You're better than that. Move forward. And I always respected those words because that was the highest form of love. Somebody stopping you from stopping your own potential, doing certain things, even though you're capable of, and you might have been doing it, but it wouldn't be the best for your potential. And that's a definite sign of real love. 100% sure. And boom, that's my story. So I say all that to say this. Shout out to my moms for seeing something that I couldn't see at the time, being like 19 years old. Shout out to the security guard for recognizing something in me, You know what I mean? Like that God factor that I always been on. Definitely been on since I was like 13, 14 years old. And preventing that and just kind of like, get out of here. And like, but he said it not in a way like I shouldn't be there. He just said it like, yo, you don't need to be here. Like, so he knew something or he's seen things and he knew the energy wouldn't match. Because these stories I hear, it couldn't be God. Like, we would have been fist fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of stories is too crazy because I've never met a person who money could disrespect me. And I think a lot of the times, what I realized with this situation, just because somebody has money doesn't mean they should be able to do just anything to you. Or you need to subjugate yourself to just anything for them. That shit's for the birds. Like, you can never ever do something that disrespect your character, your honor, and who you are for money. And as real as it get, morality is key. Morality is really, really key. Like who you are and what you're about. Like a person who loves money and who is loyal to money is loyal to no one. A person who put their money before people's emotional safety, physical safety, spiritual safety is a definite sinister, aesthetic, demonic, running on that demonic energy system that you see throughout the world through different things. And we're just not talking about entertainment. You just see it throughout different scopes. And we got to just really be leery of people like that. And we got to get out of that saying, oh, it's all right, they got money, it's cool. Now, a lot of this shit ain't cool. It's just not fly. And truth be told, a lot of things in the dark is definitely going to come to the light. You can't. Oh, hold on, Charity. Let me read your words. Oh, Charity, why you take that away? About not having no compassion for people. You ain't got to delete nothing here. You ain't got to delete nothing. We good. But yeah, feel free here, Charity, for sure. But yeah, Charity wrote, I have no mercy or compassion in me for a society that will crush people and then them for not being able to stand up under the weight. Malcolm X, once again, that's it. We gotta like that. Let me heart that. Let me get some of that. Let me throw some hearts on that. Yeah, technically, to be honest with everybody and everybody listening to this, the way Puff is living is the American way. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm not shocked at any of this shit. This is like what he's doing, what's allegedly, right? Certain things we now see, but we still got to say alleged because ain't been in really a court of law. He's never been charged for anything. A lot of things been said of his sexual appetites, but I guess everybody got some type of proclivity. I hope I said that word right. Probably not, but proclivity that is for their liking, So him wanting to see people pipe out Cassie, that to me, that don't make somebody a villain, only if it's rape. And she never said it was rape. And nobody's ever said that was rape. It just was what they did proactive in their bed. Even with the alleged thing with him and Meek Mills. If that's a possibility, then that's subjugated. That's weird shit for a security guard to record that. Because I wouldn't even want to be by the door to have, to hear two men, thumping it out like that. I'm calling animal control on y'all. Anyway, but that's That's me. And every even the guard recording it is that's weirdo shit to me too. So those are just proclivities, but we can when we see the violence against a woman, like no man should hold that down like that. And when she went into that fetal position, you knew that wasn't like the first time. That was like a defense mechanism of like a scared animal, So I send my good energy and warm regards to Cassie and her family, and and everything that she's definitely getting through. And I'm glad she got paid what she got paid, so she can get the therapy she need, and live a life in the outskirts and just chill and maybe circle back and get her career popping again. So we'll see how that goes in the future. But most importantly, I hope the sis just take time and really rediscover her in a safer space for sure. So that's what I wish for her. For Puff, I don't really know. Like he's smart enough to know he needs to do better, but I don't even know if he can. And that's the unfortunate part. But I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he can change and be better, and maybe people who are around him can change by stop. You know, right? We only saw one incident. That's what I'm saying, Charity. Like, but we can't. We only can judge what we see. Like the alleged stuff, all this like secret society shit. Like I don't really get into that because it's conflated. Oh, listen, if he doing that, I'll just say this: if he's doing that to her, then he's moving like that with a lot of people. But what I'm saying is I'm not shocked by that. Just like who he is and who he portrayed himself to be, or whatever he became. He probably was like some quiet geek, most likely, who could never get a girl, and then he got this job, and he was like a sucker, so he can never really get like a dope sister. He probably was watching like the Hustlers and stuff like that, and his mind, he started drawing from these iconic people, because he from Harlem, so he's seeing them, and he's probably around other people doing things, so he's grabbing from that too as well. And then it just made that persona, and his persona is cloaked in a certain level of bitterness and anger, because until he became who he became, people probably wasn't checking for him. And a lot of times abusive people are just lashing out like children because they didn't learn how to diffuse that anger, or to let that bitter shit go. So they got to put that poison on other people to feel better, especially when they get money and power and a certain level of status, right? That's why you don't judge a man when he's poor. You judge a man when he has things going on. You judge a man when he get into the magazine, when he get that car, when he get that job, when he get that type of fame. And then if he's the same, right? Meaning like not the same type of time, type of freedom, because business is going to be business and time is going to change. But meaning his character has either stayed the same or it has grown, but it should never be it decreased. So basically, he took on that poison that was probably put onto him in the industry and just lashed out on other people. That's what I think happened. I don't know for sure, but I don't think he was yeah, low frequency bottom feeder time. Yeah, like a lot of men, it's like he's on the violent penchant, sinister, right? Like he's on that sinister wavelength, which is really deep, because that's different than somebody who just likes to just beat people up or whatever. A sinister person, they plot, they plan, they see it through the end. They really try to control your life, your destiny. from different angles, for sure. But, as I was saying, but now you see it too, and just a lot of things. Like you see a lot of that Diddy energy. A lot of men and women got that Diddy energy. I'm telling you, yeah, that shit is real low frequency, real sinister, and it's heartbreaking all at the same time, and it destroys families and friendships. That energy of just because I've reached here, morally nothing else matters. You know what I mean? Like I've reached here, and then everything else is below. So no honor, no principles, um, no humanity. Like just your whole thing is just just crazy. Where where Russ was Russ was definitely on some stuff. Um, but I at some point in time, these people were iconic. When you think of Def Jam, you always go think of Russell Simmons. We not throwing away Run DMC or LL Cool J or anybody that was on Def Jam. You know, that's by default. And then we not gonna listen. We not gonna stop listening to Big. You know, um, Black Rob album, Total. What I'm saying is, you can be doing iconic things on one end, and it's really sad that the high level stuff you're doing on one end, you are so low level on the other end. That's the crazy shit. Like, how can you be so genius and have such vision here, but then you take that and then make like your own living hell on the back end? And I think that's something to be studied. Maybe I should do some research on just like great men that without good mentorship or good, or let me just say good character, where did it spiral? Maybe I'll do one of the Monday jump offs on that. But that's my thought on Puff. And time gonna tell. I think more gonna come out with different people, and we gonna have a lot of fallacious stuff come out, of course. But sticking to the facts, the brother got to get it together, and anybody around him needs to tell him he got to get that together. He needs like super therapy. He needs to kind of like be restricted. Yeah, for sure. So that's what I wish for him, that he get the help that he need, and stop this abusive shit, and whatever come from it legally, it's just gonna come from it. And everybody, be all God listen, everybody gonna pay a price for the things that they do in the light and dark. So what you do in the dark should be greater than what you do in the light, for yourself, for your own character, for your own personal will. So you got to think about that. You got to be a lover, a warrior, a sage, a king or a queen. Like you gotta have multiplicity of yourself working at all times to deal with different things and at different times. And if something is going awry, reach out for help, speak to elders, put yourself around better friends, because fucked up people can only assist you in your own fucked up idea, right? But good people, they can talk you off that ledge. A lot of the times, people got a bunch of yes men, yes women, and a lot of people want to see people fall and fail, so they keep pushing you towards certain things instead of saying like, cut that shit out and correcting you. So, boom, that's my thought on it. So as always, what's character? I mean, what's status without character? You always got to ask yourself that. You know what I mean? Definitely hurt people, and fuck people gonna do fuck shit. And that's just as real as it always gets. It don't matter if it's in glitter or if it's some bummy sweatpants with barbecue sauce on their face. Bum is gonna be a bum. It's gonna be a bum because the spirit inside is bummy. So you gotta watch that. Watch that with everybody though. Watch that with everybody. That the fuckery, the folly, the foolishness. A lot of people running around with those 3 Fs all the time. I would say avoid them as much as possible. So I'm gonna move on from that. But yeah, just watch your character most importantly, and you need to judge your ideas around other people. Like if you say a certain thing and you really believe it, put it to the test around other people. Some people that's older than you, some people that's the same age, and some people that's younger than you. And if you cannot articulate the shit that you believe, and everybody in all 3 demographics is saying that's complete utter fuckery, then you need to reassess that thought of yours before doing it, before becoming proactive at it. All right? Checks and balance. Real gods and goddesses know how to do checks and balance. And that's one of those secrets right there. Check and balance yourself. And you'll always be noble. Even when you're not the best, you always have your nobility. And you'll never fall into the shadows of darkness. So I wish that for everybody. So moving along, what about those Knicks? Shout out to all the Knicks fans. Played with so much grit, but remember, it's not the best team that always win. It's the most healthiest team that's going to win. And, Indiana really just had a shooting clinic. I wish it wasn't done in the Garden, but it just is what it is. I can't wait to see what the Mavs and Timberwolves do. I think the Celtics wash Indiana. So, yeah, the sports is heating up. Hockey's looking good too. I want to talk about the WNBA, which I don't think get enough shine. But listen, people, y'all gotta let that young lady Caitlin maturate. Maturate. The only thing she did, she put more fans in their seats. And the WNBA is mismanaged her, I think. How do you have who you trying to make your golden egg, your golden goose, and then you put her against the toughest teams defensively in your league to start off, right? You're supposed to, as president, I don't know who she is, right, by name, but she's supposed to look at that schedule. Now, give them this, do a little flip play, and then the next 4 games, face some tough defense, let their feet get wet a bit, if that's what they wanted to do. But it just really goes to show that a lot of people don't watch the WNBA. These women have been balling out of control way before there was a Caitlin anything on any team coming out of any school. These women have been phenomenal athletes since day one, since 1996. And all you guys are realizing, men and women are realizing, is that these women can really ball, and that these new kids, these rookies, are just going to have to maturate just like every other rookie in every sport. It takes 1 to 3 years, and then you get to see who the player actually is. So I still like to say this: keep watching the WNBA, help women's sports grow, so that way I don't have to click online and read y'all bullshit about how men and women are getting equal pay, and you don't even watch the sport to help them start gaining their pay, or at least private jets, right? So every year they should be getting better because now you're watching. So shout out to Caitlin and everybody else that became rookies, but just know the women have already been in there. They are phenomenal players, from the Liberty to the Suns team. They're just phenomenal women. And I shout out to all the women in WNBA, and those rookies gotta maturate, because they're gonna get crushed. They're gonna get crushed. It's like 6 really good teams in the WNBA. That defense is crazy, and every rookie that team meet, they're gonna blow them out the water. That's it. I don't care how good my boo Angel Reese is. She ain't put on a muscle yet. Angel Reese ain't put on a muscle yet. Caitlin ain't put on the leg strength yet. It's just what it is. But just give them time, and they gonna really cook. they're phenomenal players, and just everybody that came out of that draft looks like they're going to be able to bring into the next group. So shout out to the WNBA. Yeah, I think I pretty much touched everything I wanted to touch tonight. It's we've been on for 34 minutes. I just want to say, Charity, thank you, sister Queen, for hanging out with me. Remember, anything you want to talk about, just hit me in the DM. I'll mention it to everybody else. I hope you're having a really good Monday and you've really checked off a lot of stuff in your week. Like, I'm really happy to have started my week off so strong. Checked off a lot of boxes. About to redo a business contract tomorrow. Just getting things in order. And the housing market is coming down, but interest rates is going up. It's a lot of stuff happening. In the stock, a lot of things happening in crypto. I would just say, look, and just invest 10 to 20%. You know what I mean? Invest 10, 20%. All right, your last question. How are you? I'm good. I really feel impeccable. I feel like a new coming of age. New coming of age. I'm really blessed. I'm really blessed to be me. I'm really blessed. I'm really rich for the friends that I have. I'm really great for the relationships that I have. So yeah, just trying to clear some things up. And my number one goal is, just to get back in the groove of my daughter's life, get that stuff together, get to court, get all that stuff together, and that's really about it. Then I'm Superman again, That's as real as it get for me. But other than that, life good, goal, grand, and money growing, and staying out the way of bullshit. Basically, that's it. I'm just being where I'm supposed to be, and keeping my cipher 360 with no cuts in the middle, and that's really it. And I'm really happy. Like, I've really been journaling. I think I'm going on like 120 days straight of just journaling. So that's one goal that I wanted to do this year, and so I really hit it. I'm at like 225 days on Elevation, the mind thing that's in the description box. You can check that out. And I think I'm on like 200 days of Duolingo. So I'm just really staying consistent, and it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be consistent. The body feel good. Like I said, I got my purple belt, so I've been rolling a lot better technically. I don't know what happened. Could be the placebo or the belt, but everything just seems to be like, I feel so more in the know. So just shout out to my coach, Dan Koval, for your patience in the whole Black Magic Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu team I get to train with, so that's incredible. And I, just caught up with incredible people at Malcolm X Graveyard and made new connections there. And I'm just really excited. To all the women watching, it's going to be another million women's march, I think, in Washington in October. So Google that. You should be there in DC. Last time it was held, I think it was maybe 19 or 20 years ago. 2.5 million women came out. So I think I hope to have you ladies get that to 5 million or 6 million or 10 million women in Washington, D.C., gaining sisterhood and mothership and all that good stuff that women do. And yeah, just lead with power. So definitely check that out. That was something I got aired too, because I met the founder of it at Malcolm X gravesite the other day. So that's a blessing. It's always a blessing. El Hajj bring out the best and brightest people, because to have an understanding of Malcolm X, you got to be an intelligent person, and you got to be seeking intelligence. His legacy ain't for fools and fakes. It's for those who stand on something concrete, who's ready to live and die by what they stand on, because it's righteous, right? So, I was reflecting on that, just standing there looking at the people like, some people really put in the work. Like, we had a Black Panther come through. He had my cousin who just passed away, Sekou Odinga. So one of my cousins he would be my second cousin. He's my mother's first cousin. Was one of the Black Panthers that freed Assata Shakur. So I was pen paling him maybe since I was like 8 years old. And just last year he passed away. And one of his comrades who did 49 years, I forget the elder name, so forgive me, is late. And he mentioned the lawyer, I think her name was Joan, and gave her props. And he mentioned my cousin Sekou Odinga. And what he had to say about my cousin was something, I think it was powerful, because, people nodded their head, but as like a blood relative and somebody like, shout out to his son Anoche. You just go, damn, when I pass, I hope my friends speak as highly as me as that, that I was a solid man. And I think ultimately that's the goal. Our goal is to be solid, solid with our friends, solid in life, and solid the way we conduct ourselves, and just to be a solid person. And then you will be something in a Kemetic tradition called Ma'akeru. So our goal is to always become Ma'akeru, true of thought, word, and deed, to our highest reality. And I'll leave y'all with that. This is the Monday Jump Off, number 171. I'm Kapresh, and I'll see you next week. Peace.